Alright guys, we're getting 2 meditations in one today. Hey everyone, good morning, good day, good evening, whenever you're watching this. If you're watching this, I hope you're able to spread a little bit of extra good and positivity throughout your day. Welcome to Tao of Tay. I'm Tay, and this is my channel where I share meditations and stories from my life to add a little bit more balance into my life, and maybe that'll help bring some balance into your life. So I was going over these 2 meditations, and they're very similar. I mean, they're kind of opposites, but they're very similar. So we have, if you want to be steady, and if you want to be unsteady. That might not even be focusing. Why am I even trying to show you that? So, first meditation for today. If you want to be steady. The essence of good is a certain kind of reasoned choice, just as the essence of evil is another kind. What about externals then? They are only the raw material for our reasoned choice, which finds its own good or evil in working with them. How will it find the good? Not by marveling at the material, for if judgments about the material are straight, that makes our choices good, but if those judgments are twisted, our choices turn bad. Epictetus discourses. The Stoics seek steadiness, stability, and tranquility, traits most of us aspire to but seem to experience only fleetingly. How do they accomplish this elusive goal? How does one embody eustatheia, the word Arian used to describe the teachings of Epictetus? Well, it's not luck. It's not by eliminating outside influences or running away to quiet and solitude. Instead, it's about filtering the outside world through the straightener of our judgment. That's what our reason can do. It can take the crooked, confusing, and overwhelming nature of external events and make them orderly. However, if our judgments are crooked because we don't use reason, then everything that follows will be crooked, and we will lose our ability to steady ourselves in the chaos and rush of life. If you want to be steady, if you want clarity, proper judgment is the best way. That's something that I feel that I find in meditation. You know, like when I'm not centered, well, first off, if I'm not centered and I haven't really been like working out my brain as like a muscle and it might be a little bit weak, then I feel like I can fall for anything. Oh, the cat wants to get in here. 1 second.
We good. You want to join? Yeah? Okay.
You want to join? You want to do meditations with Mama? Alright. Ooh! Alright, so as I was saying, yeah, if I feel like I'm not like centered, then I definitely slip into chaos and I fall for chaos. And I feel like I react instead of respond to certain situations. You know, instead of being that like cool, calm, collected Taylor that I want to be, when I'm not centered, I fly off the handle. I get heated really fast. Like, I get heated really easily. I tend to like lash out more easily, but when I'm more centered, things tend to like roll off my shoulders a little easier. Kind of like, I like to think of an archetype for that. This might sound really silly, but it's something that I use in my daily life. The archetype of Regina George. Not like the bully bitch Regina George, but I think of that centered confidence that she had, you know, like when they're in the locker room and she's getting changed after gym and she's putting on that white tank top and she looks down and there's the little circles cut out of her shirt and you can see her purple bra through it. And I feel like any of us would normally be like, oh my god, oh, and we would freak out, right? I'd probably have to go home for the rest of the day. No, she looks down and she's just like, whatever. Like, it doesn't even faze her. Maybe underneath, like deep down, there's like a, oh, like why does somebody do that to me? But out on the surface, she's just like, whatever. And she just carries on without, she just carries on throughout the rest of her day. And that's kind of how I try to live my life is, you know, I'm not gonna let the little things get to me as easily. Oh, now you want out? Sure.
Okay, come on. Go on. I'll see you in a little bit.
And when I am centered, I'm totally able to see things more clearly and to have better judgments on things and to come from a place of like love and compassion, understanding and forgiveness. Because when I'm not, it's really easy for me to go into like defense. Because when I'm not, it's really easy for me to go into like defense mode. I'm constantly on the defense. And you know, through therapy that I've been taught that that's just because that's my way of protecting myself. But you don't need to be on the defense for everything. And that's what our reason can do. It can take the crooked, confusing, and overwhelming nature of external events and make them orderly. Because if not, we can get fooled with the crooked, confusing, and overwhelming nature of external events. But now, let's go into the second meditation. This is if you want to be unsteady. For if a person shifts their caution to their own reasoned choices and the acts of those choices, they will at the same time gain the will to avoid. But if they shift their caution away from their own reasoned choices to things not under their control, seeking to avoid what is controlled by others, they will then be agitated, fearful, and unstable. Epictetus Discourses. The image of the Zen philosopher is the monk up in the green, quiet hills, or in a beautiful temple on some rocky... I feel like I have a hair on my lip. Let me start that over again. The image of the Zen philosopher is the monk up on the green, quiet hills, or in a beautiful temple on some rocky cliff. The Stoics are the anesthesis of this idea. Instead, they are the man in the marketplace, the senator in the forum, the brave wife waiting for her soldier to return from battle, the sculptor busy in her studio. Still, the Stoic is equally at peace. Epictetus is reminding you that serenity and stability are results of your choices and judgment, not your environment. If you seek to avoid all disruptions to tranquility, other people, external events, stress, you will never be successful. Your problems will follow you wherever you run and hide. But if you seek to avoid the harmful and disruptive judgments that cause those problems, then you will be stable and steady wherever you happen to be. Well, your problems will follow you wherever you run and hide. That is very true. You can you can move away to try to run from your problems and even from yourself, but it doesn't work. It really doesn't work, because wherever you go, there you are. And when they said Epictetus is reminding you that serenity and stability are results of your choices and judgment, not your environment, that reminds me of this picture that's been going around for years on social media of it's, two people on a bus sitting on, opposite sides of the bus. And one side of the bus, someone's looking out the window, or let's say. An example that comes to mind with this is this picture that's been floating around on social media for years and years. It's like two men sitting on a bus. Let's say the man on the right is looking out the window and it's just like this cliffside, darkness, just rocks and just, not the prettiest view. And you're just like, And then on the left side of the bus, you have the other man and he's looking out his window and he can see off of the cliff and he can see like the beautiful towns and the beautiful scenery and landscape. And he's got a smile on his face, and he's sitting up tall, and he's just like, you could see the gratitude within him. Whereas the other man on the right, he was kind of like slumped over, hunched, like sad, like depleted looking. And, of course, beautiful scenery it's a lot easier to be like, look at the beauty in the world. But it's just that example of, we can't control our environment, but we can control how we see the environment. And that comes back to the gratitude. I feel like everything just comes back to gratitude. Being grateful for the moment. And it's about perception. And sometimes you feel like you have this solid perception on the world when, you know, you've just been like draining yourself in negativity and hopelessness. When if we could just kind of flip that with some gratitude, we could have that perception of like, you know what, yeah, some days are dark, some days are clouded, some days are rainy, some days there's a blizzard. But on those days when the sun shines through those clouds, man, I can feel it coming down on me. I can bask in that sunlight. I can feel the warmth. And I can be grateful for that moment. And you know, yeah, some people might be the Zen Buddhist monks or the philosophers up in the green, quiet hills or in a beautiful temple off some rocky cliff. Yeah, that's great. But for me, in this life of where I am, we have to bring that within. We have to bring that stoicism within our own lives, just like the man in the marketplace, or the senator in the forum, or the sculptor busy in her studio. Finding peace within the moments, because if we don't, we can really, really become unsteady, unstable, agitated, fearful. And again, your problems follow you wherever you go. Yeah, you can escape, you know, your closed-minded small town and move to a big city that's a little bit more open-minded and progressive. That definitely helps. But we can't just like open up our skulls, take out our brain like that scene in Nightmare Before Christmas, and just kind of like put it away for a while and then like go enjoy ourselves. This is going to be with us wherever we go. So looking at how to flip our perception, so look at how to flip your perspective on the world. And finding gratitude in the little things and in the little moments. That definitely helps me. And another example that's just coming to mind right now is like, you know, the judgments that I put on myself, which are the judgments that I put on others, because life is just, people are just a mere reflection, you know, people are just a mirror, like reflecting right back at us. You know, I'm so worried about how others will perceive me or how others will judge me. So yeah, I could move up into a cave somewhere and not put myself out there on YouTube and not share my stories, not share anything with anyone, and like remove myself from society. But those judgments on myself are still going to be there because they're still in here. And I'll never have success. And I don't mean like YouTube success of like, oh, I'm gonna make like so much AdSense and like sponsorships and buy an $8 million house. Like I could care less about that. What I care about is what I would find successful in this is just being able to touch another person. That sounds wrong. Being able to like reach, at least if it's just one person who's like, yeah, I resonated with something with that. If I could get one person, if I could get at least just one other person who feels like they're not alone, who feels understood, seen, and heard, that's success in my eyes, to me. And I'll never get that if I don't share this. So instead of running out and hiding in the caves for forever from society and avoiding people because I'm so afraid of their judgments, I could just look at it and be like, you know what? What other people think about me is none of my business. It really isn't. I can't help how other people are going to think of me. What I can help is what I think about myself. And instead of, avoiding other people, no, I can do what I feel like is in my purpose, and I can share this, but what I can do is I can avoid the harmful judgments that I put on myself. Because again, I can't help what other people are going to think of me. And let people think what they're going to think. That's their own, that's their journey. That's their thing. That's their shit that they got to work through. Because again, life is just mirroring back at us. It's our own reflection. But yeah, sorry, my lips are like so chapped, and then I put on chapstick, and now I feel like they're just like kind of like peanut buttering together, like if you have like a mouthful of peanut butter and you can't like open it all the way up. I feel like that's what's happening to my lips. But yeah, I'm tired of closing myself off because I'm so afraid of what other people are going to think of me. What I need to do is think more highly of myself and let people be people. But at least at the end of the day, I know that I'm not putting harmful judgments on myself, and I'm going to try not to put harmful judgments onto others. Because life is just like a big pond or like a big lake. And each of us is just like a little stone, and we can create ripple effect. And I don't want to put any negativity or any bad ripples out onto other people. I want to try to help. I want to try to put good ripples out into the world. So I'm going to sit with that thought of like, wherever you go, there you are. And you can't run and hide from yourself. So tonight when I'm journaling, I think I'm going to go over of like, what are some of those harmful judgments that I have on myself? And how can I flip that perspective that I have? And how can I take some of those like weaknesses that I see on myself, and how can I turn them into strengths? If that makes sense. And hopefully that'll bring me, a little extra peace. So hopefully something in here resonated with you and will help bring, a slight percentage of peace into your day-to-day. Whether it's like 1%, maybe 98%. So thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me today. I am so appreciative, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.